And teasing this question, and I want to see if my buddy Jalen Rose gets it right. So Luka Doncic turned 22 years old yesterday, Jay. Who is the only player in history to win an MVP at that age or younger?
Himbo, you know how much I love you. And you and Greeny crushing it in the afternoon on the radio. But you know I know the answer to this question. You know I know the answer to this question. As a matter of fact, he's a member of the Knicks, and he just joined the coach that he had in Chicago when he won MVP, Derrick Rose.
That is correct. I thought you were going to say, and he shares your last name. That is correct. You got it right. Jalen knocks it out of the park early. Okay, we're going to talk about Luka in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk about the two leading candidates for MVP this year. They were both on the floor last night. Same time, same place. LeBron and Steph Curry. But this was a night that belonged purely to LeBron and the Lakers. There he is early from the outside. Now here he is on the defensive side. LeBron taking it coast to coast. Lakers scored 41 in the first quarter last night. They had a 20-point lead. And then here's another bad moment for Golden State, adding injury to insult. Pay no attention to the ball. Just watch Draymond Green. You see him hobbling there. Now we'll show you exactly what happened. He's going to come down on the foot of KCP, rolling the ankle. Draymond would leave the game. He would not return. And frankly, it probably wouldn't have mattered. This is a blowout. Time winding down before halftime. Here comes LeBron. 3, 2, 1, knock it down. Lakers scored 73 points in the first half. They had a 29-point lead. Third quarter, we go here, and the Lakers lead is 30, and we got more from LeBron and company. On the inbounds, Markieff Morris. LeBron wouldn't play a whole lot longer than this. That's Markieff for the two-handed slam. Lakers, their largest lead was 32. Morris had 13 points. LeBron would score 19. He wouldn't play the fourth quarter of this game as the Lakers just flat-out dominate to win this one 117-91. So, Jalen, before we get to the really fun stuff today, let me just ask you about the Lakers. We had them 3 times this week on ESPN and ABC. What do you see in them right now as they continue to play without AD?
That they're head and shoulders my clear-cut favorite to win the NBA championship. Once Anthony Davis comes back, I don't think a team – I'll say somebody will take them 6 because that's what happened in the finals last year with the Miami Heat. But nobody's going to press the Lakers this year, Gritty, when they get healthy. And now that we're closer to the All-Star break, the MVP conversation keeps getting thrown around. And I love James Harden, for example, as much as the next person, and I'm a fellow lefty. But to me, it's so disrespectful when I hear people say that he's the MVP of the league, like they're not watching LeBron James play basketball this year. He's played every game. He's leading the Lakers in so many different categories. AD's been in and out. We see once he get a little help with Schroeder, he's even now having the energy to play defense. Kyle Kuzma tweeted yesterday that LeBron James should be in the conversation for all defense. And so it just frustrates me as a voter when I see people ignoring the entire body of work. People, if somebody's going to win the most valuable player and it's only been 30 games played, you can't take 9 of them off in Houston. That's not how this works. So that's what I see from the Lakers. Once they're healthy, they're the clear-cut favorite.
I'm with that. And the other thing I'll say is, if the Dallas Mavericks record looked entirely different, Luka Doncic has numbers that would put him in this discussion. And he's the guy I wanted to talk to you about. So we watched them on Saturday night on ABC. You got the game there. I was watching. And he was spectacular. And afterwards, James Harden was very impressed. He said this.
He never lets anyone speeds him up, and he gets what he wants. You know, and that's rare for a guy, you know, at a young age. I think he's, 21 years old. To be able to dictate the game and control the game like he does. So, obviously, we all know he has a very, very bright future, and the Mavs got a special one.
So he was 21 years old when Harden said that. He turned 22 yesterday. Let's play this fun game, Jalen. You're starting a team, and you could take any player walking the face of planet Earth right now to start that team with. Who are you taking?
Well, usually when you say build a team, that means the person has to start young. So I immediately, when you say that, it eliminated players like Giannis and KD and Dame and Steph and all of those guys. So now it's like Jason Tatum or Luka. And I'll give the edge to Luka because when you have a primary ball handler and initiator of offense that's a big guard, that's special. And as a tall point guard myself, nowhere near in any way, shape, or form the conversation of none of these great players. But like I always knew, guys like Magic Johnson that I saw playing tall point guard, it just unlocks the floor for everybody else. He can get to the paint and still make passes to other people. He's not a defender. The one thing about Luka that I want to caution, and again, he's the answer to the question. I see him hobbled a lot. And I don't know if he's going to now go do like Vlad Guerrero in baseball and say he comes back next year and he drops 10 or 15. When he does that, it's over for the league. That's what Joel Embiid did. Joel Embiid dropped some weight. He's healthy every game. We saw the talent be there. And now that he's out there every night, he's dominating. So if you're picking somebody 23 or under, I'll take Luka because he's that high triple-double Oscar Robertson type number threat. And he and James Harden are actually more similar than people realize. They both are guys that are first and second in average points and assisted per game in the league. They both have styles that some people think may or may not be attractive. Neither one of them are explosive, what we consider athletes. Neither one of those guys play above the rim. But I tell you what, when James go between his legs and do that step back, going right, it's money. When Luka do it, go in his bag and do a step back going left, it's money. He's a terrific performer, and I agree with you, Greeny. I have to build my team around him.
I love it. And his numbers actually at the age of 22 are favorable to what LeBron's numbers were at the same age. The question, and you just mentioned it, because I had Kendrick on earlier talking about this, and he said the reason he doesn't take Luka is because Luka has, quote, a whack body. And compared it to his own, actually, Kendrick did. And so that's his concern. Do you believe, he said he doesn't think Luka can get into the kind of shape you're talking about. Do you believe he can? Can Luka be a great player for 15 years?
That's a great point, Big Perk, and I'm glad I see that too, Greeny. It's like every game, it's almost like he's a little gimpy, he's a little hobbled, and that's okay. But it does hurt him defensively. It hurts him defensively a lot because he can be a liability on that end of the floor. But I'll tell you what, he's such a magnificent performer. I do believe he could get into top shape because he's so young. When you're under 23, you feel like you can eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, go to sleep whenever you want, and still be that level of performer. And when you get in those type of numbers, it kind of validates it. Then after you play a couple of years and you realize, hey, if I want to have staying power and I really want to be dominant, that's what I need to do. It's going to happen. Over the next 2 or 3 years, you and I are going to be having this conversation. Luka Doncic comes into training camp. He's 15 to 20 pounds lighter. He's taking it a lot more serious. He's upset that the Dallas Mavs keep getting eliminated in the first round. And then that season, he's going to be MVP.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Jay, you're the best. We will see you later in the day. Thank you. I've got a whole list of those guys ready for radio today. Meanwhile, as we continue here, the game of chicken coming up this weekend that continues to play out in Houston. Have the Texans finally decided to blink? Don't miss the latest on Deshaun. It's next. Let's get up on ESPN.